crypto Twitter, Coinbase, Gemini, and fake Bitcoin. This week, we will jump right into the charts as usual. Bitcoin has had a volatile week, initially starting out at around 35,400 US, dipping down to 31,500, and then recovering quite nicely. This, in a sense, if you zoomed out enough, you may consider this a little bit of sideways action, an accumulation period, which will be very, very important to watch and see what occurs this next week, especially with what's happening in the United States with the inauguration of Biden and a lot of chaotic things politically. Will that affect the markets? Will that affect crypto? It's hard to say. Should we predict what will happen? No. Obviously, the best move is to react. Stay close to news, information at gotchimedia.com and other sources so that you can react to the markets. If you try to predict the markets ahead of what happens, you may make the wrong decision, whereas reacting to them does give you a bit more of a fair chance, in my opinion. But watching Bitcoin's volatility and lack of volatility in the last few days is staggering, considering seeing the high trading volume that's out there. Tether at $101 billion in 24 hours. Bitcoin was $57 billion, and looking at a strong Ethereum price with $32 billion trading, almost $33 billion there. And looking at the charts, Ethereum is doing quite well, back up over $1,200, $1,244 currently. So with this sort of trading that's going on, this is definitely what some would consider the bull run that we are in or breaking into. You know, anytime we consider a bull run, you would expect it would be led by the public. It would be led by retail buyers. Of course, we are not seeing that. So of course, the term bull run is up for debate. Is it here? Is it coming? Is it not coming? Keep watching. Let's find out. But in other news, Coinbase announcing and releasing information about Coinbase Asset Hub. What is this exactly? Well, it's a way for them to list other tokens and qualify them to do so. It gives them a bit of separation from their other products. Coinbase itself supports trading for over 40 crypto assets. Coinbase Custody supports over 90 crypto assets. So will we see more than this with this new program with Coinbase Asset Hub? It's hard to say. The kicker here is that this is really going to be designed for compliant assets. This is what they're streaming for. So what does that mean? Well, Coinbase is regulated in the United States. So for them to find compliant assets, that would mean that they would likely also reside in the United States with some sort of business asset behind them. Will this be, something related to DeFi tokens based in Romania? I would say no. Malta? No. This is really not what this is. I don't think Coinbase is about to take on any high-risk assets or just create liquidity pools. This is not something to compete with Uniswap or anything like that. But stay tuned to see how this launches. You can actually jump onto Coinbase Asset Hub right now and add an asset and apply and go through the process. You can see here that when you jump over to Coinbase Asset Hub, you can click Get Started. You can jump right in and create an account and apply to have your token created within their platform to actually onboard it to be traded. So very, very interesting for people who want to get further exposure to, say, the US market where they don't have it, and you will have to definitely be compliant for the regulations in the United States for that, which we all know is very, very difficult and causing difficulties. So it is exciting to see this. It was also see a cool video here released to support DeFi Bench by Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss from Gemini. Their platform DeFi Bench is really going to have a few different products behind it. And if we jump over here to DeFi Bench, we can see their platform here is going to have an EDA token sale. Now, what is EDA token? It sounds like it will be a utility token tied into their DeFi and NFT applications, and how this will operate basically as utility. But for right now, for those who will be able to get their hands on the EDA token, they will get a one-of-a-kind NFT. We know Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss love NFTs. They recently partnered at Nifty with Little Yachty, who released his token on Fuse.io, one of our customers. And this NFT space is growing and growing. The thing that nobody has really tapped into yet is really, what are the next layers to this? When you hold an NFT, can you get special privileges from a platform or a company or an individual or someone who's tokenized just by holding that token? That is something special. That is a special way to create something that is fraud proof and can really, really leverage brands in ways that they aren't being harnessed right now. Loyalty brands are changing through tokenization. So this is really cool to see this being put out there. We can see the products here within DeFi Bench, backed by Gemini. So they have decentralized asset management and a DEX, decentralized exchange. Will this be designed to compete with Uniswap? It's hard to say, but it sounds like it will. Keep in mind, again, this is another US-based company, and even worse in a sense from a regulatory standpoint, Gemini is based in New York City. So everything they do is really under a magnifying scope. Some say that's terrible, some say it's actually great because it gives a lot of security. They basically picked the most difficult place on the planet in a sense to host these businesses from, but it sure gives credibility to the industry. So hats off to Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss for launching a program like this. Also, their decentralized launchpad, which sounds like they'll be able to help people mint and create their tokens. The question is, will they build this on an independent blockchain, or is this going to be based on something else? So it mentions here that in this decentralized launchpad, EDA token holders have the opportunity to purchase tokens at seed or early stage valuations. So think about that. This is not mentioning ICO stage, as obviously, you know, industry is sort of done with that sort of thing. Seed and early stage valuations mean that these are corporations. So combining a decentralized launchpad with corporations, which are centralized, I'm not sure how that's going to work, but this will be really, really cool to see how that rolls out, because those are the two biggest problems. Companies are decentralized and they don't have a revenue model built in because of it. But then you have a centralized company which creates huge risk for rug pulls. So what are they going to balance that out with? How will this platform work? We will have to wait and see. We'll have to get some examples of platforms and programs that are launching there. And of course, their NFT platform. So, you know, the Winklevoss twins have done work on Nifty and love NFTs. Well, they're launching their own platform for this. Will it be an e-commerce store with bidding? I'm not sure. We'll see. But stay tuned. DeFi Bench is coming. And some tips for those who have joined crypto Twitter recently, who are having their minds blown by cryptocurrency and the blockchain industry. There are no rules, no regulations. But guess what? We're going to lay some out there right now to give some tips to people. I'm releasing a book. It is called So You've Been a Piece of Crap on Crypto Twitter. This book is 561 pages. 560 of those pages are blank, and the final page has this information on it. Number 1, no hijacking tweets. If someone's writing a tweet to say, talk about something that they like, or that they want to feature, or they're breaking down information, and you jump in and say, great, but what about what I think on this completely different topic? Look at me and look at what I'm involved in, and give me your money because I'm a scam. This is an absolute no-no. Do not do this, because everybody's looking down on you, and we're all very disappointed. Number 2, tagging. Tag the people you know, tag the people in your circle. Tagging celebrities and people who you don't know, it's a bit of a gray area, especially if they don't want to be associated with what you're saying. or your project, which you don't actually know. The only people that you would know that about are people within your circle of influence or people you've talked to. So try to keep that under wraps. Also, Forex trading. Yes, you Forex traders, or you who pretend that you are Forex traders, go find your own industry. We don't want you here jumping in, chatting with people for 2 weeks, and then saying, hey, would you like to make 10 to 20% per day by giving me all of your crypto? Sounds great to the person who's uneducated, but the rest of us know that this is a scam. And yes, we know there are people that make money Forex trading, but for the other 99% of you who are not actually doing it and running some sort of Ponzi scheme, trying to get your hands on people's crypto, go find your own industry. We would put Forex traders at the bottom of the totem pole in the crypto industry just because you're always there. But we're not even going to include you in the totem pole. The way that totem pole works for people in the industry is as follows. Real entrepreneurs at the top. Fake entrepreneurs right below that because they're important too. Blockchain experts. There's only a few of those. Watch out for them. Bitcoin maximalists. Below that we have altcoin traders, and at the very bottom of the totem pole, rug pull founders. Yes, they're around. We see you, we're watching you, and we're coming to get you.
I must break you.
This week was one of the first times that I have heard from someone where they said, I tried to buy Bitcoin, but the markets were closed. I was blown away. I was actually on Clubhouse in an audio group. This was someone who worked in the real estate industry. I won't mention who they are. Someone actually quite prominent. And I said, you realize you don't own Bitcoin. If you're buying it from somewhere where the markets are closed, what were you buying? He said, I let my broker handle it. And I said, well, what were you buying? Because there are no markets that are closed with Bitcoin. It's open 24/7, 365. You can go anywhere to purchase it. That's the point. And he said, it's a futures contract. And I said, that's awesome. That's great. It's a good way to hedge loss and get some profit if that's how you want to buy the value of Bitcoin in another product. I said, you don't actually own Bitcoin. So you're excited that you own it, and yet you don't. The only way that you own Bitcoin is by owning the private keys and not having to ask someone to buy it or sell it or spend it or send it anywhere around the planet. It is designed as a permissionless digital currency. That is the whole point of it. Now, maybe you don't want to trade your Bitcoin, you want to just hold on to it. Things will get easier. So this is obviously a roadblock for some people. They don't quite understand what they're getting into. And what's really fascinating is that there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin ever created. And about 3 million of those are lost. As Wall Street layers on other products, indexes, funds that are based on the value of Bitcoin and Bitcoin held, we will see much more than 21 million Bitcoin leveraged in that sense as we see those layers expand. What do you want? Do you want to actually own and control your own Bitcoin, or do you want to pay a broker to buy you something based off of Bitcoin? And if that's the case, how do we view stablecoins? As they have a very, very similar mindset to them. Quite often, the legalities that tie these things together is not very concrete. Yes, things are registered. Yes, there's an index fund. Auditing is included for these things. But what do you want? What do people actually want to have? From what I've heard, it's actually having BTC. And what are your opinions? Share your comments and thoughts below. How do you think this is going to expand as Wall Street continues to make more and more products based on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in their indexes? Well, thank you for tuning in to the Goshgene Media Wrap-Up. I'm Ross Macdonald. And again, if you want to be the news or if you want to read the news, go to goshgenemedia.com.